A single major political or economic event. Radio Algeria International, our voice in the world.
This is the English service of Radio Algeria International. It's time for the news.
President Abdelmadjid Tebboun's official visit to Germany at the invitation of President Frank-Walter Steinmeier drew widespread international media attention, with coverage focusing on the new strategic partnership between Algeria and Germany and the signing of several agreements, particularly in the energy sector. The Mediterranean is facing an unprecedented heat dome, bringing record temperatures and a heightened risk of wildfires. In Algeria, civil protection has raised the state of readiness and strengthened coordination with neighboring Mediterranean countries to improve wildfire prevention and response. And the Palestinian presidency spokesman Nabil Abu Rodeina has denounced a dangerous escalation in the acts of aggression carried out by Jewish settlers against several localities in the occupied West Bank, and affirmed that such maneuvers could by no way legitimize occupation. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail from Radio Algeria International. First in our news, Arab Parliament Speaker Mohammed bin Ahmed Al Yamahi has extended his condolences following the death of several children and the injury of others in the fire that broke out at dawn at the child care center in Mohammedia, Algiers. In his message of condolence, Al Yamahi expressed his deepest condolences and sincere sympathy to the People's Democratic Republic of Algeria, its leadership, government, parliament and people on the victims of the tragic fire that struck the Children's Assistance Center in Mohammedia, resulting in several deaths and injuries. He reaffirmed the Arab Parliament's full solidarity with the People's Democratic Republic of Algeria in this painful tragedy, praying that Almighty God grant the victims His mercy and forgiveness, receive them as martyrs, give their families patience and strength, and bless all those injured with a speedy recovery. For its part, the Arab League also extended its condolences following the death of several children and the injury of others in a child care fire in Mohammedia, Algiers. In its message of condolence, the League expressed its deepest condolences and sincere sympathy to the People's Democratic Republic of Algeria, its leadership, government and people over the tragic fire that broke out at the orphanage, and reaffirmed its full solidarity with Algeria in this painful ordeal. The official visit paid by the President of the Republic, Mr. Abdelmadjid Tebboune, to Germany at the invitation of his German counterpart Frank-Walter Steinmeier was at the center of a wide international media coverage, with reports highlighting the launch of an enhanced strategic partnership between Algeria and Germany, marked by the signing of numerous agreements, particularly in the energy sector. German media described energy cooperation, including natural gas and green hydrogen, as the cornerstone of the visit, while also emphasizing industrial investment. Reports noted the two countries' commitment to accelerating the green hydrogen corridor, South H2 project, and deepening economic ties. International media, including Italy's Norva, or France's TV5, Monde, Turkey's Anadolu Agency, and Russia Today highlighted the strategic partnership agenda, stressing Algeria's growing role in Europe's energy security and its cooperation with Germany on low-carbon technologies and green hydrogen. The international press also focused on agreements signed during the visit, including a memorandum of understanding on low-carbon technologies, the Green Hydrogen Corridor project, Sonatrach's agreement with Germany, VNG, and nearly 30 commercial deals. 7 European business and energy outlets also highlighted plans by German automaker Opel to establish a major production hub in Algeria, including the future local manufacturing of vehicles or vehicle engines, while the Algerian-German Economic Forum in Berlin was widely reported as a key platform for expanding bilateral trade and investment. The National Liberation Front FLN has won Algeria's July 2nd parliamentary election, securing 91 out of the 407 seats in the National People's Assembly, according to the final results announced by Constitutional Court President Leila Aslaoui. The National Democratic Rally RND came second with 74 seats, followed by the Al Mustaqbal Front with 56. The Movement of Society for Peace MSP won 43 seats, the Al Bina Movement 40, while the Independent Lists secured 33. For its part, Saud al-Sha'b obtained 16 seats, while the Socialist Forces Front FFS won 12. The Liberty and Justice Party PLJ and Al-Fajr Al-Jadid secured 6 seats each, and Al-Karama won 5. The Rally for Culture and Democracy RCD and the Justice and Development Front FJD each obtained 4 seats. The Workers' Party PT, Jihad or Jil Jadid and Tajammu' Amal Al-Jazair won 3 seats each, while Al-Nahda secured 2, and 6 other parties won 1 seat each. The Mediterranean region is experiencing an unprecedented heat wave known as the heat dome amid warnings of record-breaking temperatures and an increased risk of wildfires. In Algeria, the Civil Protection has announced heightened readiness to deal with these exceptional conditions, with advanced coordination established with neighboring countries and other Mediterranean nations to exchange information and implement preventive measures. The Deputy Director of Statistics and Information at the General Directorate of Civil Protection, Lieutenant Colonel Nassim Barnawi, told our radio the following.
Collecting, analyzing and updating data through state-level risk assessment plans in coordination with other active sectors in this field, as well as with neighboring countries at the Mediterranean or global level, such as international organizations, including those which provide these studies and these axes, or at the internal level. As for the operational level, we regularly set a new strategy and protocol for our response as the risk itself changes every year, while also mobilizing and strengthening the necessary material and human means.
A special weather bulletin issued by the National Met Office announced that the severe heat wave will continue to affect several parts of Algeria until Tuesday, with temperatures expected to reach up to 42 or 48 degrees Celsius. Red level high or heat alerts remain in force for Ghilizan, Shlif, Ain Difla, Tizi Ouzou, Gelma, Skikda, Annaba, Al Tarf, Bijaya and Jijel, where temperatures are forecast to range between 46 and 48 degrees Celsius. Orange level alerts have also been issued for several other provinces, including Tlemcen, Sidi Bel Abbas, Saida, Maskara, Tismsilt, Medea, Blida, Jelfa, Msila, Bouira, Sitif, Mila, Borj Bouarerij, Constantine, Souqaras, Tebessa, Al Bouaqi, Batna, and Khanshla, with high temperatures of up to 46 degrees expected through to Tuesday. Meanwhile, the National Civil Protection Services managed to extinguish 138 out of the 154 fires reported across the country over the past 24 hours, while efforts are continuing to contain 16 remaining blazes. During the same period, authorities recorded 70 fires affecting forests, scrubland, agricultural fields, fruit trees, and palm groves. And Civil Protection has deployed operational units, mobile response columns, regional support teams, and 802 firefighting aircraft based in Mostaganem, Algiers, Bijaya, Jijel, and Annaba. The Algerian People's National Army and Forest Conservation Services are also taking part in the firefighting operations. Masoud Sharfi has more.
Authorities urge residents to follow heatwave safety measures by avoiding outdoor activities during peak temperatures, staying hydrated, and protecting vulnerable groups, including children, the elderly, and people with chronic illnesses. People living near forested areas were also advised not to approach or attempt to extinguish fires themselves, and to follow the instructions of local authorities until operations are completed. Meanwhile, wildfires continue to sweep across most of southern European countries, with 12 hectares ravaged north of Madrid, forcing the evacuation of several hundred residents. The blaze, which erupted on Thursday in Guadalajara province, including the Sierra Norte Natural Park, has caused no casualties so far. However, Regional President Emiliano Garcia Page and local officials described it as a particularly challenging fire to contain. The fire is spreading through a mountainous, forested area that provides habitat for endangered wildlife, including eagles, wolves, and several butterfly species. Meanwhile, another wildfire near Zaragoza in northeastern Spain has charred nearly 16,000 hectares since breaking out on Wednesday and remains far from being brought under control. According to regional authorities, no injuries or fatalities have been reported.
Shifting now to the Middle East, where the Palestinian presidency spokesman Nabil Abu Rodaina has denounced a dangerous escalation in the acts of aggression carried out by Jewish settlers against several localities in the occupied West Bank, and affirmed that such maneuvers could by no way legitimize occupation. Mr. Ashrafi again.
He was quoted by the news agency Wafa as saying that settlers backed by the Israeli occupying forces had set houses and one mosque ablaze, assaulted inhabitants, vandalized properties, stolen the cattle, and destroyed scores of olive trees. He stressed that such acts were part of a policy aimed at capturing and stripping the Palestinian land of its inhabitants, and called on the international community to urgently intervene to guarantee the respect of the truce and implement the second state of UN Security Council's Resolution 2728. Earlier, the head of the Palestinian National Council, Rouhi Fattouh, called for an urgent international intervention to stop the crimes and acts of violence perpetrated by Jewish settlers against the Palestinian people. He stressed that the two houses and mosque which were set ablaze near the West Bank town of Hebron, as well as the act of vandalism aiming Palestinian properties and carried out under the protection of the Israeli army, clearly showed the interconnection existing between the colonial terrorism and the military apparatus. The Palestinian official said that the attacks targeting places of worship and houses were not isolated acts of violence, but were part of a policy aimed at creating a coercive environment, forcing the Palestinians to leave their land in violation of the international humanitarian law and conventions guaranteeing the protection of civilians and civilian and religious properties. In this connection, he urged the international community to take up its moral and legal responsibilities by adopting compulsory measures to end settlers-related violence, while recalling that silence and impunity can but lead to an escalation in crimes. This came as the UN Organization of Islamic Cooperation and the UN Committee for the Exercise of the Palestinian People's Inalienable Rights held a conference in Cairo devoted to occupied East Jerusalem in light of the Israeli policies, including the Judaization plans of the Holy City. The meeting brought together officials, diplomats, religious leaders, experts, representatives of international organizations, as well as researchers. Meanwhile, in the Gaza Strip, new Israeli airstrikes carried out against Gaza Strip killed at least 3 Palestinians and wounded several others.
And as the hostilities continued for over 10 days between the US and Iran, Kuwait today said it would respond to the Iranian missile and drone attacks in the wake of a firing of a projectile that hit a power plant and an oil facility in the Gulf state. The Kuwaiti army affirmed that the unit air defense was currently facing up hostile attacks. Earlier, the US Army announced having completed its 8th consecutive night of strikes against Iran and targeted those units which were behind the attack that cost the lives of 2 of its military personnel in Jordan. The announcement was made by the US Army Central Command, CENTCOM, which affirmed having targeted Iranian military sites as well as infrastructure, including bridges. With this, we come to the end of this news bulletin. Time now for our weekly programs. As for me, I'll meet you again tomorrow for a fresh edition of News Bulletin. Thank you and goodbye for now.
Hello and welcome to your weekly program Technoverse and the Science Planet on Radio Algeria International. Water is one of our planet's most precious natural resources, yet today, growing population, climate change, pollution, and increasing demand are placing enormous pressure on fresh water supplies around the world. According to the United Nations, billions of people experience water scarcity for at least part of the year, making water security one of the defining challenges of the 21st century. Fortunately, science and technology are opening new possibilities, from turning seawater into drinking water to using artificial intelligence, satellites, and smart irrigation systems. Innovation is helping countries use water more efficiently and develop new sources of supply. But how do these technologies work? Can they really solve water scarcity? And how is Algeria using innovation to strengthen its water security? In this episode, we explore the science behind modern water technologies, their opportunities and limitations, and Algeria's ongoing efforts to secure this essential resource. Although nearly 71% of the Earth's surface is covered by water, only about 2.5% is fresh water. Most of that fresh water is locked away in glaciers, ice caps, or deep underground, leaving only a small fraction readily available for human use. Water scarcity does not always mean there is no water. In many cases, it means there is not enough clean, accessible, or affordable water to meet people's daily needs. Several factors contribute to this challenge, including prolonged droughts, population growth, urban expansion, pollution, and insufficient use of water resources. Climate change is also making rainfall less predictable in many regions, increasing pressure on already limited supplies. Because of these challenges, countries around the world are investing in technologies that can improve water management, increase efficiency, and develop new sources of fresh water. One of the most important technologies is desalination, the process of removing salt and other minerals from seawater to produce fresh drinking water. Modern desalination plants mainly use reverse osmosis, in which seawater is pushed through specialized membranes that separate salt from water. Another growing area is artificial intelligence. AI can analyze weather forecasts, water consumption patterns, and data from thousands of sensors to help water authorities detect leaks, predict demand, and improve the operation of water networks. Technology is also transforming agriculture, which accounts for about 70% of global freshwater withdrawals. Smart irrigation systems use sensors to measure soil moisture and deliver water only when and where crops need it, helping farmers reduce waste while maintaining productivity. In addition, satellites allow scientists to monitor reservoirs, rivers, groundwater, vegetation, and drought conditions from space. This information helps governments plan water use, respond to droughts, and better protect water resources. Water recycling is another important solution. Instead of treating water waste as a waste product, modern treatment technologies allow it to be cleaned and reused for agriculture, industry, and in some cases even for drinking water after advanced treatment. Together, these technologies are helping countries improve water security while making better use of existing resources. Despite significant technological progress, no single solution can solve water scarcity on its own. Desalination plants require large amounts of energy and produce highly concentrated salt residue, known as brine, which must be carefully managed to reduce environmental impacts. Artificial intelligence and smart monitoring systems depend on reliable digital infrastructure, specialized expertise, and continuous data collection. Water recycling also requires advanced treatment facilities and strong public confidence in water quality and safety. Recognizing these challenges, the United Nations emphasizes that technology should be combined with sustainable water management, environmental protection, efficient use of resources, and international cooperation. Around the world, governments are increasingly investing in integrated water strategies that combine innovation, conservation, and climate adaptation to strengthen long-term water security. In this global context, Algeria has made water security one of its national priorities through major investments in infrastructure, technology, and scientific research. One of the country's most significant achievements has been the expansion of seawater desalination. In 2025, Algeria commissioned 5 new large-scale desalination plants located in Cap Blanc in Oran, Foucatou in Tipaza, Kudit Drawish in At-Taraf, Tighramt in Bijaya, and Cap Janat in Boumerdaz. Each plant has a production capacity of 300,000 cubic meters of drinking water per day, significantly increasing the country's ability to meet growing water demand while reducing pressure on conventional water resources. Alongside these projects, Algeria continues to modernize its water sector through the rehabilitation of distribution networks, the introduction of digital monitoring systems to improve network management and detect leaks, and efforts to reduce water losses and improve service efficiency. In agriculture, which accounts for the largest share of water consumption, the country is encouraging more efficient irrigation techniques, including drip irrigation and smart water management practices to improve agricultural productivity while conserving water resources. Algeria is also expanding the treatment of wastewater for agricultural and industrial purposes, helping preserve fresh water supplies for domestic use. At the same time, universities and research centers continue to study renewable energy-powered desalination, advanced water treatment technologies, and sustainable water management solutions adapted to the country's climatic conditions. Together, these initiatives reflect Algeria's long-term strategy to strengthen water security by combining technological innovation, infrastructure development, scientific research, and more sustainable management of its water resources. As climate change, population growth, and rising demand continue to increase pressure on water resources, technology is expected to play an increasingly important role in ensuring sustainable water supplies. However, experts agree that technology alone cannot solve water scarcity. Success will also depend on responsible water use, effective public policies, environmental protection, and international cooperation. For Algeria, continued investment in desalination, scientific research, digital technologies, and sustainable agriculture provides a strong foundation for strengthening long-term water security while supporting economic development and improving resilience to climate change. Water is essential for life, economic development, agriculture, and public health. As global water challenges become more complex, technology is providing new tools to help countries produce, manage, and conserve this vital resource more efficiently. And with that, we come to the end of this week's edition of Technoverse and the Science Planet. Thank you for joining us as we explore how science and technology are helping address one of humanity's greatest challenges, securing water for present and future generations. Until next time, keep exploring the science shaping our future here on Radio Algeria International.
Located in the historical city of Constantine in the eastern part of Algeria, the National Sirta Constantine Museum offers visitors a fascinating window into the region's past, particularly during the time of Roman occupation. Consisting of a ground floor exhibition hall, an upper floor, and a beautifully maintained garden, The museum features three main categories: ethnographic, fine arts, and archaeological, the latter encompassing 12 rooms giving a comprehensive chronological overview of the region from prehistory through to today. The museum was founded in 1852 by a group of scholars who had formed the Archaeological Association of Constantine with the objective of preserving monuments and artifacts, many of which were inscribed, detailing the history of the city and its surroundings. Initially, the museum was housed in a caravanserai, but these premises were not big enough to contain the growing collection, and it was proposed to construct a building specifically to house the museum's artistic and historical treasures. The site chosen for the museum already had archaeological significance as a Numidian Punic necropolis. The completed museum was opened on April 15, 1931, under the name of Musée Gustave Mercier, in honor of the Secretary General of the Archaeological Association. The name of the museum changed to Sirta Museum in July 1875, and in 1986 was listed as one of Algiers' national museums. Covering an area of more than 2,100 square meters, with an additional 900 square meters of gardens, the museum has become home to an extensive collection of fascinating artifacts, some of which were donated and others unearthed through archaeological excavations or purchased. The fine arts category of the Musée Sirta Constantine displays sculptures and paintings created by renowned artists between the 17th and 20th centuries. Artists featured at the museum include Eugène Foromentin, Gabriel Ferrier, Alalou Shamar, Bashir Bouchriha, Edine Dinette, and Khouja Sadaq Amin, to mention a few. In the ethnographic section, visitors will be able to view ancient manuscripts relating to various sciences, along with antique jewelry, carpets, weapons, copper crafts, and traditional dress. A relaxing stroll through the gardens gives visitors